normal consideration. Provide
OxyClean White Revive. Whiter whites guaranteed.
All right, we've run out of time, but don't worry, our news desk has got you covered 24/7 with all the late-breaking celebrity headlines.
You'll find it on our website, ET Online. Thanks for watching, everybody.
See you tomorrow.
Take care.
Dad!
Hey, Ben, help me take a look at this thing in the garage.
Was the old Craftsman running out of steam?
Ah, but since it's yours now, I'd say it's due for a tune-up.
Mine now. Come on, Dad, you love this thing.
Yeah, well, I want you to have it.
A new one?
Yeah.
Really?
What?
Sears and Craftsman, trusted for generations. This week at Sears, get up to 25% off Craftsman Power Lawn and Garden.
From the Valley's News Channel, this is Channel 5 News at 5.
Breaking from Brownsville, a man who was picked up by police managed to escape from their custody.
Our Michael Scott is en route to Brownsville right now, but he's on the phone with us with what he's learned about that manhunt that's now underway. Michael?
Well, Oscar, I can tell you police are looking for one man. Right now, Brownsville police are on foot near University Inn Motel. This is literally on the border. ICE is also searching for the man. I can also tell you that the International Port of Entries along the border were notified. Police tell me the man escaped around 3 this afternoon when he was being booked in at the city jail. No details on how that happened yet. I'm told the man is in his early 20s. He's wearing a white shirt, dark pants, white socks. He is barefoot and is clean cut. Again, Brownsville PD, along with ICE, are searching for a man near University Inn Motel. We're going to go ahead and continue to follow this story and pass along any new information once we get it. For now, reporting on the phone, Michael Scott, Channel 5 News at 5.
Now to the disappearance of a spring breaker from South Padre Island.
We go straight to our Shelley Childers, who's live at the island. And Shelley, what is going on with the search?
Well, Melissa, Oscar, we join you in front of the South Padre Island City Hall, where we're told police are prepared to release new information in this case. We are still waiting on that, but we do know investigators have a clearer time frame of the events in Jordan Britton's disappearance after getting his cell phone records. We spoke with his mother about it earlier today.
His last call was on Saturday around noon. That was the last ping. It was off of a Schlitterbahn tower, so it was here. And then we got information from one of his friends back home that he texted her around 4:30 that afternoon, just a general, hey, what's up, kind of a text. But that's it. Then the phone must have died soon after that.
Here's the timeline of what we do know now. On Thursday night, he and two friends drove to the island. Britton's credit card was used at the Super 8 motel. On Friday night, Britton parked his car at Schlitterbahn, where the three men attended the UMC concert. After that concert, the three reportedly were separated at the beach, and on Saturday, he made that cell phone call and that text message last known about 4:30 Saturday afternoon. Today, we watched as the police chief hit the waters looking for any sign of the 20-year-old. The family has also reached out to the State Department, fearing he may have crossed the border south into Mexico. People from across the valley and South Texas have now gathered on South Padre Island to join in the search efforts. We'll have more from them coming up tonight at 6 o'clock. For now, reporting live from the island, Shelley Childers, Channel 5 News at 5.
You know, an Edinburg man also reported missing, also last seen at the island, now found and reportedly safe. 23-year-old Daniel Zambrano is at a Harlingen hospital. Our Rebecca Young tracked down his mom. We first heard from her yesterday at 5. We're bringing Rebecca back in. What is mom saying today?
I'll see if I can go through it maybe with Rebecca, because I don't know.
Well, Melissa, Daniel actually called his mom himself to let her know that he was okay. Up until that point, Pearl Zambrano was frantic. She'd called multiple police departments, county jails, and local hospitals. No one knew where her son Daniel was. She'd run out of leads by the time she'd called Channel 5. What worried her the most was her son Daniel's last communication with anyone. It was a text message that simply read, "Mom, it's an emergency." It was sent from a cell phone that was now dead. Zambrano was terrified and frustrated. The police wouldn't categorize the case as high priority. She was on her own. But within 2 hours of last night's story, she got a call. Her son was safe and at Rio Grande State Center in Harlingen.
We have our family issues, we have our problems, you know, and I was like, no, this is a sign to me from God that this is it, Jesus is Lord, and you know, I had faith, and it wasn't easy. It was not easy at all. So no, I'm good.
Now, staffers at the hospital told him that he'd been on the news, and that was the first time he realized his mother was looking for him. Now, it turns out that text message was literally a cry for help. Daniel Zambrano should be discharged in a few days and will be back home. He'll continue to receive the help he's now getting at the hospital. Live in the newsroom, Rebecca Young, Channel 5 News at 5.
New developments out of the Donna School District this afternoon. Another school district employee fired following allegations of inappropriate misconduct involving children. The employee in question worked at Run Elementary. Donna School Board President Albert Sandoval says a full-time teacher assistant was fired during their board meeting last night. According to the school district's attorney, there are claims of several incidents involving the teacher assistant and several students. Sandoval says the district's police department is investigating. Last night, the district announced a new task force created to deal with the issue. We're working for the latest details. We'll present those to you on Channel 5 News at 6. Now, a Prairie View A&M University student claims her professor pressured her for sex in exchange for a better grade. The allegations led to the teacher's dismissal, and now the two are preparing to battle it out in court. Lisa Mims says she was about to fail her computer science class 2 years ago when her 76-year-old professor allegedly told her he would give her an A if she met him at a hotel.
He wasn't going to give me a grade unless I showed up to the hotel and had sex with him.
We think that a jury will, after hearing the evidence, will rule in our client's favor.
The professor claims he was at the hotel because his carpets were being cleaned at home. He says he had loaned Mims a textbook and knew the hotel was a place close by for her to return it.
Temperatures across the valley this afternoon in the 70s rather than the 80s. We've stayed cloudy with a little bit of light rain and drizzle around. The humidity at 77%. Winds out of the east-southeast about 15. There's your first 1.5 Doppler network. It's all light, but there's a little of that drizzle out there, especially the eastern half of the valley. We'll track that rain and update your first 1.5 forecast coming up in a few minutes.
All new at 5, the Office of the Inspector General says Border Patrol violated federal regulations by paying agents to teach CrossFit. Channel 5's Carrie Zayas is live for us. Carrie, any policy changes now coming soon because of this report?
Well, Melissa, right now the feds are not recommending Border Patrol make any changes to its policy. This report states that the agency corrected that problem in January of last year. Now, here's what the Inspector General Office found. Some Border Patrol agents in 6 sectors, including the Rio Grande Valley, were paid to be CrossFit instructors, and they were paid for other activities such as gym maintenance. Those payments were classified as administratively unavoidable overtime. Federal regulations allow agencies to make those kind of payments when they are necessary in order for an employee to do his or her job, or when it would be negligent not to do the work. And though CrossFit is a part of Border Patrol fitness training, the OIG report found that paying agents for it was against federal regulations. Now, this report says that the CrossFit instructors they interviewed did not intentionally violate any laws. We're going to post a link to the full audit on our website, krgv.com. Now, live in the studio, Carrie Zayas, Channel 5 News at 5.
A new audit says transportation safety agents allowed a convicted felon and former member of a terrorist group to skip the standard screenings at the airport. We first told you about the incident last week on Channel 5 News at 5. Letty Garza has that report. She's live in her newsroom. And Letty, what else shows up in that report?
Well, Oscar, the report confirms what happened. They say the TSA agent gave a pre-check pass to the traveler. And according to the Department of Homeland Security's Inspector General, a whistleblower brought the problem to their attention. The agency's report does not say why a TSA supervisor approved the traveler for expedited screening. Just yesterday, TSA said it had enrolled its 1 millionth traveler in the pre-check program. TSA pre-check allows passengers who have been pre-approved to keep their shoes, belt on, jackets, and they can also keep their laptops inside their cases. And also they don't have to remove select liquids and gels from their bags. Well, the passenger that was allowed through had prior convictions for murder and explosive offenses and wasn't even approved for the expedited security screening. We'll let you know if that TSA supervisor who allowed it to happen will be fired or face any charges. For now, live in the newsroom, Leti Garza, Channel 5 News at 5.
Army Sergeant Bo Bergdahl now charged with desertion. So how much time could he possibly spend behind bars?
And new developments in the case of 2 police officers shot in Ferguson, Missouri. What the defense lawyer is now saying about his client and why prosecutors disagree. You're watching Channel 5 News at 5.
Breaking news. Breaking stories. This is Channel 5 News with Oscar Adame, Melissa Correa, and First Warn 5 Weather with Chief Meteorologist Tim Smith. This is Channel 5 News at 5.
One brand. One trusted name. Bert Ogden. Service. Selection. Savings. Drive a 2015 Cadillac SRX for just $359 per month. Come discover a new standard of luxury ownership at Bert Ogden Cadillac Mission. Dale gas.
At Subway, a great meal starts with a great sandwich on the new Simple 6 menu. With 6 of our best 6-inch subs, like the tender turkey breast, plus any bag of chips and a 21-ounce drink for just $6 every day. Subway.
We've been thinking, a pitcher who can paint the corners is known as a Rembrandt. Who doesn't love that kind of precision? At GMC, we get that. Not everyone can deliver a 95-mile-an-hour Rembrandt. This is precision. This is GMC. Welcome to the show. Now lease this 2015 GMC Terrain for around $199 per month.
See your Valley GMC dealer.
I've been fishing crawfish in the Louisiana Bayou since I was 6 years old. In my opinion, Louisiana crawfish is the best crawfish you can buy. That's why H-E-B comes all the way over here to buy millions of pounds of fresh crawfish. They keep us pretty darn busy. In fact, they sell more crawfish than anyone else in Texas. I'm Troy, and this is the Fresh from the Bayou Crawfish Department at H-E-B. No store does more than my H-E-B.
It's Ford Truck Month, and only Bogus has all the little things for an even better buying experience, like fast, friendly service, flexible finance options, and respect for your time. See for yourself, Ford Truck Month really is better at Bogus. Get a real deal lease on a 2015 Ford Explorer for only $299 a month, or lease a 2015 Ford Fusion for only $199 a month. Truck Month, it's better at Bogus in Harlingen, in McAllen, and always at BogusFord.com.
U.S. Army Sergeant and prisoner of war Bo Bergdahl now charged with desertion.
Yeah, the announcement came today nearly a year after Bergdahl was released during a prisoner swap in Afghanistan. Karen Travers has more.
After a lengthy investigation, the Army announced today that Bo Bergdahl should face punishment.
Sergeant Bergdahl is charged under the Uniform Code of Military Justice with 1 count of Article 85, desertion with intent to shirk important or hazardous duty, and 1 count of Article 99, misbehavior before the enemy by endangering the safety of a command, unit, or place.
If Bergdahl's convicted, the first charge carries a maximum punishment of a dishonorable discharge and 5 years confinement. The second charge, endangering his unit, could bring possible life confinement. Within his first 2 months in Afghanistan in 2009, Bergdahl walked away from his post, looking for the Taliban. He left his weapon and body armor behind. He was held prisoner by the Taliban for 5 years and was released last June in a controversial prisoner swap. President Obama said at the time, the U.S. has a sacred rule.
We don't leave our men or women in uniform behind.
To secure Bergdahl's release, the U.S. turned over 5 mid to high-level Taliban who were being held at Guantanamo Bay. This stunning video released by the Taliban shows the moment they handed Bergdahl over to U.S. Special Operations Forces.
Since his release last June, Bo Bergdahl's been on active duty, working an administrative job at Fort Sam Houston in Texas. His lawyer has said he's very eager to get on to the next stage of his life, but for now, that may mean a very lengthy process in military court. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
New developments out of Missouri. The attorney for the man accused of shooting 2 police officers now says his client did not pull the trigger. Jeffrey Williams is accused of shooting 2 Ferguson police officers. It happened during a protest earlier this month. Williams' attorney says his client told him he didn't even fire a gun that night, but prosecutors say different. They say Williams admitted to shooting a gun but was aiming for someone else. Williams is still locked up on a $300,000 bond.
The Philadelphia's police department, the latest to be blasted in a federal report. The Department of Justice says 59 unarmed suspects were shot by officers there since 2007. Almost half of them were, quote, threat perception failures. Those cases described as incidents where police thought the suspect was reaching for a weapon, but instead was going for something else, like a cell phone. A former FBI agent says there is more in that report.
It's dark out. I have just chased somebody. We may be wrestling to secure that person's arrest, and suddenly that person is reaching into a place, maybe reaching towards me, maybe throwing punches at me or trying to reach for my weapon. That is a hard decision to make in a millisecond.
The report also stated a majority of the officers involved in the shootings are white and a number of the suspects are black. The DOJ report also cited inadequate training for Philly police officers.
Spotty light rain across the valley today. Tomorrow could be more than light rain. We could see a thunderstorm or 2. When we come back, your first 1-5 forecast for La Grulla, Lopezville, Santa Maria, and the rest of the valley next.
Shop Bergdahl Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Harlingen today and save on more than 400 cars, trucks, and SUVs available. Take $9,000 off on the 2015 Ram 1500 Crew Cab now during Ram Truck Month. Start your adventure today in a 2015 Jeep Wrangler, only $27,995. Get a 2015 Jeep Grand Cherokee for just $329 per month. Or get a 2014 Dodge Durango for just $27,995.
Get more variety, great service, and save at Bergdahl Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram. Just take the Altus Palmas exit in Harlingen.
Dale gas.
This is where the NBA starts. This is the NBA in the RGV. Come see your RGV Vipers take on the Austin Spurs. Saturday, March 28th, 1 p.m. at State Farm Arena. Game is presented by Doctors Hospital at Renaissance. And come join us for a tailgate party before the game, sponsored by Peppers at Uptown and L&F Distributors. For tickets, call 972-1144 or visit Ticketmaster.com. RGV Vipers versus the Austin Spurs. Be there.
Save on the best sleep of your life at LAC's 80th anniversary mattress sale. Save an extra 15% off every Serta Restonic and Simmons mattress with no interest for 36 months, plus free delivery and 2 free queen pillows. Best of all, a portion of your purchase from all Simmons Beauty Sleep and Beauty Rest mattress sets will be donated to the Sina Magowitz Foundation for the fight against pancreatic cancer. Now at LAC's 80th anniversary sale.
Gilman got rule number 167. At Gilman, we just don't sell you a vehicle. We sell you a conversation starter.
Where you going, Maria?
We can only do so much.
During the Honda Dream Garage Sales Event, lease a 2015 Honda Civic for just $169 a month at Gilman Honda in San Benito. Gilman, big enough to serve you, small enough to know you.
Gilman got rule number 167. Gilman gives you something to talk about.
Gilman,
it's the way to go.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Tim Smith. Do you have the KRGV weather app? It's interactive. You can track storms headed right towards your neighborhood with live radar. In fact, you can check the weather for any place you want. Check out the 10-day forecast. One touch delivers hour-by-hour weather. You can see video forecast and even submit your very own weather photos. It's the fast way to get your official forecast. Download the free app, available for Android and iOS devices.
Supported by McDonald's, Bain Auto Group, Plains Capital Bank, and Shaw Eye Center.
And now, First Warn 5 weather with Chief Meteorologist Tim Smith.
Hey folks, the clouds came back in today, and from those clouds we're picking up a lot of light rain and drizzle, especially the eastern half of the valley. Take a closer look. Cameron County light showers have been moving south to north across the county much of the day, especially since about noon or so. You can see light stuff right around San Benito up toward Harlingen, down along the Military Highway, more stuff along the coast. Get up into Willacy County, pretty good batch of light rain right up I-69E, right through Raymondville and points northward from there. Hidalgo County a little spottier, but it's out there. The most significant precip, and it's very, very light, is out in the northern part of the county, and that's about it. Starr County, nothing at all. Quiet day in the western end of the valley today. Cloud cover shows everybody under the clouds, though, even though a lot of places not picking up the drizzle, especially in the west. It's cloudy. It's overcast there as well. Here's Future Track says we stay cloudy all night long. And then tomorrow, here comes the front. It's due in here about midday or so. A shower, perhaps even a thunderstorm possible with that front. An isolated thunderstorm. There could be heavy rain, but it should be brief. There could be thunder and lightning, but it should be brief and move on out of here very quickly. Strong northerly winds will push drier air in here. We could see some breaks in the clouds by the end of the day tomorrow, and then Friday looks very nice. A northerly breeze, sunshine, maybe some patchy clouds. That's about it. And that holds for most of the weekend as well. Look at Saturday, partly to mostly sunny again. Sunday doesn't look a lot different. So once we get through tomorrow and that 50% chance of showers and a thunderstorm, we go dry for Friday, Saturday, and probably Sunday and Monday as well. Here are the current temperatures. 80 Rio Grande City right now, 68 at the beach. Everybody else in the 70s at news time. Tonight we stay in the 60s valley-wide. Again, the beach kind of hovers between 68 and 70 all night long, and then tomorrow we're back up to about 80 or so. We'll cool off a little bit, maybe 5 degrees or so behind the front, but it won't be a dramatic drop. Tomorrow about 80. Look at Friday. Behind the front, still 78 degrees. That's because there's plenty of sunshine, and then we're back to 80 on Saturday. Look at the records. The record on Friday, 105. It can get hot in late March. Rest of Texas, it's pretty warm across a lot of the state. 85 in Abilene, 81 in Dallas, 82 in East Texas tonight. Here's a look at the picture of the clouds and a couple of thunderstorms firing up west of Del Rio and Laredo. They should fade away. Front pushes southward, moves through here midday tomorrow with a shower or thunderstorm, and then that's it for a while. Our next chance of rain looks to be about Tuesday of next week. Not a big system, but nonetheless a little system that could trigger a couple of showers. So for tonight, 68 for a low, mostly cloudy, breezy, mild southeasterly winds. Then tomorrow, wind starts out of the southeast, but by afternoon it's out of the north. 15 to 30 with a gusty thunderstorm a possibility. Your high temperature around 80 degrees. So don't be surprised if you feel a pretty gusty wind and get a brief downpour with that. Little thunder and lightning, but after that it's gone until probably Tuesday. That's our next chance for spotty thunderstorms once again. That's your updated First Warn 5 forecast. We'll be right back.
I slipped and fell in my office building. I decided it was time to call Jeff Davis. His firm made sure that I got the settlement I so badly needed.
So if you're injured, call me at 444-4444. That's 956-444-4444.
Laredo Taco Company takes the time to make it right. From our fresh ingredients to our famous handmade tortillas. Delicious food served fast and with a smile. Get the El Gran Tocino Taco today. Eggs, bacon, and more bacon at Laredo Taco Company, only at Stripe stores.
What if I told you that affordable luxury is not a myth? And here at Bergdahl Infinity in Edinburg, we can prove it.
Choose from over 100 Infinities available and get up to 27 highway MPG in the new 2015 Infiniti Q40 for just $229 per month.
Come see where luxury meets affordability and performance and safety go hand in hand. Come find your own affordable luxury and get exceptional service at Bergdahl Infinity in Edinburg.
Dale gas! The Museum of South Texas History welcomes you to its 31st Ranch Gala, honoring Heritage Associates and celebrating South Texas history in style.
Enjoy gourmet food with a South Texas flavor.
At a beautiful lakeside setting.
And dancing under the stars.
I'm Lester Dyke. My wife Marie and I are very pleased to be hosting this year's gala, and we invite you to join us in supporting the museum on Saturday, March 28th.
Make your reservation by calling Most History today.
Looking for designer glasses? Get Coach, Fendi, Armani, and many more for the best prices at iMart Express. Or choose 2 complete pairs, frames and lenses for $39. 2 pairs with no-line bifocals for $99. All with a free 1-year warranty. And you can wear your glasses today. We'll text you when they're ready. You get a lot more for less. At iMart Express, most insurance accepted.
In Brownsville next to Target and in McAllen next to Applebee's in front of Burlington Coat Factory.
In April, Thursdays on This are part musical,
Let's all go to the movie.
part comedy,
You look like the 4th of July.
part drama,
You like it?
It's magical.
part action,
I hope you leave enough room for my fist because I'm going to ram it into your stomach.
all big.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Big Movie Thursdays
I'd buy that for $1.
this April.
A report released by the FBI Review Commission states the federal agency is in better shape than it was before September 11th. The status update recommends the FBI become more tech savvy.
We want the American people to see what they're getting for their money, what the FBI is doing well, what the FBI could do better, and what the FBI needs to think about to consider whether we can improve.
Congress created that FBI Review Commission last year. It's supposed to monitor how the agency actually implements the changes that were recommended by the 9/11 Commission.
The president of Afghanistan told the American people his country owes a profound debt to the American soldiers who lost their lives in Afghanistan. Ashraf Ghani also thanked the U.S. for development aid and other civilian services during his address before a joint session of Congress. Here's what Ghani had to say about September 11th.
September 11, 2001 was not a distant image that I watched on the emotionless screen of television. It was horrific and it was personal and forever changed the lives of each and every one of us.
The country still faces problems. Just hours before Ghani's speech, at least 6 people were killed and more than 2 dozen injured after a suicide bombing near the presidential palace. Following a request by Ghani, it was announced yesterday nearly 10,000 American soldiers will stay in Afghanistan through the end of the year.
Yemen's president now running from his country as turmoil continues. Shiite rebels are making their way into another city there. Yemen's president reportedly left by boat and high security earlier today. It's unclear of his destination. We know he's scheduled to be in Egypt this weekend. Tim?
Across the valley this evening, the clouds are here. They're going to stick around. Look at Sky 5. See the view out there right now. It's overcast, a little bit of light rain and drizzle falling in a few spots. We'll track the rain and take one more look at your forecast when we come back.
Drive a 2015 Cadillac SRX for just $359 per month. Come discover a new standard of luxury ownership at Bergdahl Cadillac Mission. Dale gas.
Scan your item. Rescan your item.
We're building a better world at Time Warner Cable.
Rescan your item.
And you never know what will make you late for your favorite show.
Please place in bag. Rescan your item.
That's why we invented this. Now you can start over thousands of your favorite shows with a click of a button. And it's free for subscribers. So even if the episode's in progress, you'll never miss a minute. With an offer like this, there's never been a better time to switch. Time Warner Cable. Enjoy better.
On behalf of the Killer Bees, we'd like to thank our fans for coming out and supporting us for our 2014-2015 season. Come out and join us on March 27th and 28th for the fun and excitement as we take on the Odessa Jackalopes. It's going to be a fun and intense weekend.
Free food, free adult beverages, free Krispy Kreme donuts, and free tacos from Taco LA. All at the tailgate party from 5:30 to 6:30. Don't you dare miss it. Go Bees!
Come experience the new luxury lineup from Lincoln and see how Bogus redefines personalized customer service. This is real luxury, and Bogus is the Valley's only destination for Lincoln.
Right now, lease a 2015 Lincoln MKZ Hybrid for only $299 a month, or lease a 2015 Lincoln MKC for just $349 a month for 36 months.
Bogus Lincoln in McAllen, just off Highway 83 and west of Bogus Ford. It's better at Bogus.
At Subway, a great meal starts with a great sandwich on the new Simple 6 menu. 6 of our best 6-inch subs, now in made just for you meals for just $6 each every day.
I got it made fresh at Subway.
Take your pick from 6 of our best subs, like the tender turkey breast, the Italian BMT, sweet onion chicken teriyaki, and more. With any bag of chips and a 21-ounce drink, all 6 are just $6 every day on the new Simple 6 menu.
I got it made. I got it made. Made fresh at Subway.
Now back to our breaking news coverage from Brownsville. A manhunt happening there right now near Sand Pearl Boulevard and University Motel.
A man picked up by police reportedly escaped from their custody. We have our Michael Scott back on the phone. Michael, what do you know?
Hey, Mel, we actually just got to the scene down here. I can tell you that police have called off the search. Initially, the search was around Sand Pearl Boulevard, specifically near the University Motel. They couldn't find him, so that's why they called off the search. Brownsville PD, along with ICE, were both looking for the man. All the point of entry bridges have been notified. This is literally along the border. Again, the guy escaped from the city jail around 3 p.m. when he was getting booked. Police say he's in his mid-20s. He's wearing a white shirt, dark pants, and is barefoot. They do say that he does have socks on. He is also clean-cut. So if anyone has information on this, they are asked to call Brownsville PD at 548-700. Again, that's 548-700. Reporting on the phone, Michael Scott, Channel 5 News at 5.
Another look at your 7-day forecast calls for a chance of a shower or thunderstorm tomorrow, then quiet weather from Friday all the way into the weekend. Next chance for rain comes about Tuesday of next week, but notice highs stay near 80, lows down around 60, maybe a little bit cooler for Friday night and Saturday. An update for you coming up at 6 o'clock.
Thanks so much for sticking with us today.
Have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Closed captioning brought to you by Channel 5 and Clark Knapp Honda.
Dad! Hey, Ben. Help me take a look at this thing in the garage.
Was the old Craftsman running out of steam?
Ah, but since it's yours now, I'd say it's due for a tune-up.
Mine now. Come on, Dad. You love this thing.
Yeah, well, I want you to have it.
A new one?
Yeah.
Really?
What?
Sears and Craftsman, trusted for generations. This week at Sears, get up to 25% off Craftsman Power Lawn and Garden.
If you love the latest technology, more dolly gas, and big savings, Bergdahl Mazda Missin and Edinburg is a place to be.
Plus, you get selection with more than 150 Mazdas with big savings, like a 35 Highway MPG 2015 Mazda CX-5 for as low as $269 per month, or get up to 40 Highway MPG in a 2015 Mazda 3, now just $199 per month.
Get more choices and more savings. Shop Bergdahl Mazda Missin or Edinburg today. Dolly gas.
Whoa, look at all these coats.
I predict it's gonna be a cold winter.
I can make a fortune out of all these coats.
This one's missing a button, but we can fix that.
We can sell them. Or you could give them to someone in need. Okay.
Someday I'm gonna talk about this on TV.
The cleaners will clean them.
And we'll mend them.
Catholic Charity and Salvation Army will give them out.
30 years and still going strong.
Sharing the warmth.
With Tim's Coats.
You're watching KRGV, Channel 5 Weslaco.
Tonight, the breaking developments: the Army sergeant held prisoner for years by the Taliban, now charged with desertion. After that dramatic handover, the U.S. giving up 5 Taliban members for Bergdahl. Tonight, he now faces life in prison. The jet crash, 3 Americans on board as we learn why they were on that flight. And now the voices in the cockpit, captured on the black box. Inside the terror attack, what we never saw until tonight. Gunmen storming that museum. Tourists unsure at first as the attack begins to unfold. And then the chaos. Severe storms tonight for millions across several states. Ginger Z is here. And you remember Tom Cruise singing it? You never close your eyes. Name that tune and the original artists. Their new honor tonight.
From ABC News World Headquarters, this is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and we begin tonight with 2 breaking stories. The Americans who were on board that jet when it crashed. But first tonight, the Army sergeant charged with desertion. Bergdahl, the U.S. soldier from Idaho, held hostage by the Taliban for 5 years. We saw him blinking in the sunlight. Set free in a dramatic exchange, the U.S. handing over 5 Taliban prisoners to gain his freedom. After the handoff, patted down by a member of U.S. Special Operations Forces before boarding that chopper and flying to freedom. But tonight, that freedom could be short-lived. Late today, the U.S. Army revealing the charges that could lead to life in prison. ABC's Chief Global Affairs Correspondent Martha Raddatz leading us off.
The possibility of a life sentence shows just how serious the charges are. Desertion with the intent to avoid hazardous duty, endangering his fellow soldiers left to face the enemy without him.
Endangering the safety of a command, unit, or place carries a maximum